Hi, everybody. I'm only an hour and 15 minutes late. Long story, but my phone died when I was waiting for my lift. Then we got pulled over by the cops, which was partly my fault because I had him, I asked him to drop me off and we didn't realize it was a bus stop, blah, blah, blah. So I just got a little derailed, but I really wanted to do this Facebook Live because I know the new year is coming up and the holidays and people, are priming for their New Year's resolutions and wanting to get healthy. And I love it. I think it's great. It's always like such an exciting time of year to look back and see, what you've accomplished and like all you've done. And some years are, years full of like a lot of growth and maybe sometimes pain that goes along with it. And really like life changing. And other years are just like, okay. And that's fine too. So, but I know like, I forgot the stats, but it's a ridiculously high amount of people that I think like the top New Year's resolution is to lose weight. So I figure why not do a video where I can give people 5 things to think about if one of their goals is to lose weight in the new year. Because despite what you've heard, weight loss and healthy living does not start in the gym or even the kitchen. Because think about it. It's what determines whether you go to the gym or eat, some healthy stuff in the kitchen. Your mind. Your mind is what controls your actions, and your, actions add up to like daily behavior and daily habits and so on and so forth. So the number one obstacle people have is obviously their thinking around weight loss. And the dieter's mindset, or not even dieters. Most people, when they try to lose weight, they get derailed because they try to do the overhaul, or, and when they do the overhaul, they can't, keep up with those, like, all those new changes, big changes at once. And so they get frustrated with themselves. And, they eat whatever food they weren't supposed to eat, and then they feel worse. And so then they really go all out because they say to themselves, oh, well, I'm just going to start Monday. So they're like, well, I'm just going to go, eat what I want because I'm going to start over Monday. And Monday comes and they probably do well Monday through Friday sometimes, or until they go out to dinner or hit whatever that obstacle is that has been in their past. And, the dieting cycle begins. So in order to help anybody who is trying to adopt a healthier lifestyle, just in general, I did want to go over 5 things that you can do differently in order to get different results. Because what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and expecting different results. We've all been there. So if you do the mental work and you start to retrain your brain, you will see different results. It's really up to you what you do with it, what I'm about to tell you. I highly suggest just trying it. Like I always tell people, there's no harm in trying. So here we go. Okay, so here are 5 steps to creating the positive weight loss mindset, because these are the exact steps that work for me, and I've studied and research shows help people adopt a healthy lifestyle rather than, keeping them stuck in the same old. So number 1, we went over this with the challenge, but it's so important that I'm going to revisit it. The number 1 is identify your whys. So if you haven't done that yet, one of the best things you could do for yourself, and this is like an exercise in all personal development trainings, a lot of you, if you're in the corporate world, or even if you're not, a lot of self-help and personal development gurus do this exercise because it's that powerful. And when we want to lose weight, we often spend so much time trying to find the perfect diet and the perfect exercise plan. And we think if we could just find that perfect one, then we can lose the weight. When in reality, that's not how it works. Because there is no, perfect diet plan or perfect workout plan. Different things work for different people. We all know some people who thrive being a vegetarian or vegan. I always use that example because I always think of my bestie because she's pretty much vegan and she does great. I myself didn't do too well on that. I ended up at the doctor's office with some problems. So tapping into your why power. So I'm going to give you an example of one I did recently with a client because I feel like it's pretty common. And I want you to then do your own. And if you want to private message me, I would love that because I love hearing people's whys. I just think it's really inspiring and it's so powerful, and you can't help but change after doing it. It's like you have this new awareness. So then, when you're doing new behavior and it might be uncomfortable or you're scared or fearful, you think of your why of doing it, and it really does make a difference. I know it really did for me. It was such a game changer. I would always play that tape through of like, well, I remember just like being like, oh, I don't want to eat vegetables. Well, why do I eat vegetables? I eat vegetables because I feel better. And then when I feel better, I show up to life more. Blah, 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 blah. So, okay. Here is the 5 whys to help us look deeper to the root desire that motivates us to change. Because if you just tell yourself, oh, I just want to lose weight, it's not enough. It's not going to happen. So I asked my client, why do you want to lose weight? She said, I want to fit into these smaller jeans that she hasn't been able to fit into. I said, why is that important? She said, because when I'm wearing smaller jeans, I just feel better about myself. And I said, well, why do you want to feel better about yourself? And she said, because when I feel better about myself, that means I have more confidence and I'm more outgoing. And I asked her why she wanted more confidence. And she said, because when I'm more confident, I make bolder choices, engage more with people, and get what I want out of life. And I asked her then, why is that important? And she said, because I want so much more than the life I'm living right now. And, that, like, I know her saying that out loud was just, it gave her a whole new perspective and motivation. Because motivation isn't always going to be there, but when you can think of the why of you're doing certain things, it really does drive you when you have those goals in mind. And I also do a lot of goal setting with people because it's so important. It's like I used to think that, oh, life just happens, and it happens, but it might not turn out the way you wanted to if you don't take certain actions and do certain things. So that's a great why exercise. And you can see that she had her aha moment when she realized it wasn't about the weight. It was about all that she was missing out on because of her weight. And that's some serious why power. So the number 2 thing you could do if you are trying to get healthy for the new year and lose weight, I want you to visualize the new you. What would that look like? And this usually comes after the 5 whys. Because like I said, a lot of us just don't think that we have these silly dreams and blah, blah, blah. But a lot of people don't realize that they can come true, that it's not just for other people, that if they work for it, perhaps it might not look exactly that way, but they can have a lot of what they want. And the visualization, a lot of athletes do it, specifically Olympians do it, I know, and a lot of successful business people do it, and regular people like us do it. So the visualization exercise, it's hard to talk when you like can't breathe out of your nose, is to keep your mind sharply focused on what life will look for you, by changing your habits and adopting a healthier lifestyle. And here's the cool thing, like, it only takes a few minutes a day. Oh, hi Ingrid. I'm so glad I have somebody with me right now, because I don't think anybody is watching this because it's such a horrible time and I'm only, an hour late. So, here's the cool thing. It only takes a few minutes to do. You don't have to write anything out about it. You literally just think about it in your head, and eventually you will believe that those things are possible for you. I know for myself, like, if you would have told me that I was helping people get healthy 16 years ago, I mean, my God, I was pretty close to like a treatment center, going into a treatment center, which there's nothing wrong about that. I asked for help. Oh, Kiki. And I was able to get help. But I'm just saying, if somebody who has struggled with addiction, depression, anxiety, low self-esteem, blah, 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 can do it, I'm living proof that, almost everybody could. So, and not to mention eating disorders and all that kind of stuff. So, I was sugar obsessed and food obsessed and exercise obsessed and all that fun stuff. So, thank you, Ingrid. I love you. So, I want you to visualize how it would feel if you, got your goal weight or started eating better and taking care of yourself more, and how you would feel physically. Because that's really important. A lot of us want more energy and just to feel good. I just remember wanting to feel good. And that was the light bulb moment I had of like, and that I remember it was like the specific moment where I was like, I don't care what weight I'm at. I just want to be healthier, because I was like on a downhill slope before I was 30 because of my habits. Like, that's how bad they were. So, I want you to think about how much strength you would have, and energy and confidence and pride and self-worth, and what that would look like for you. Hi, Danny. Visualization, do not, like I said, try it once. If you're like, oh, that was lame, Ashleigh doesn't know what she's talking about, that's fine. But it really does reprogram your subconscious mind to help you start thinking. Like I said, you'll eventually think it will be true, and that it could be true. So you're going to start acting differently, and eventually you will believe it. So I even have a sweatshirt that I love that says focus, believe, and achieve. And I don't know, it just made me think of that. So step 3, this is another big one. Oh my God. Like, if you could start just catching yourself doing it, once you start catching yourself, then maybe, you'll say, hey, maybe I'll try what Ashleigh was saying. And then maybe you'll try it and you'll say, oh, maybe she was right. Maybe, that does work. And I'm not going to balloon and, go like crazy with food. So step 3 is there are no mistakes. I do not let my clients say, when they say, oh, I did so bad, I ate so bad. Kiki is bad. I messed up, I blew it, blah, 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 blah. There's no such thing. All of that is just learning lessons. So, oh, hi, Kelly. So when next time you catch yourself beating yourself up for eating a cookie or doing something in your head you weren't supposed to do, anytime you catch yourself beating yourself up around food, I want you to stop. Hey, Kelly. Oh, my God. You're so adorable. And I want you to think, you know what? Hey, what's going on? Like, I remember saying to myself, man, like, what's going on, Ashleigh? You're obviously struggling. Or, why are you beating yourself up about a stupid cookie? Like, you're so much more than a stupid cookie. I mean, because it's ridiculous because of like the value we put on size and weight and all that, that we can beat ourselves up over our eating habits when it's really like we're doing our best. Hey, Court, my little cheerleader. But we're doing our best. And a lot of times, until you make that change of, instead of beating yourself up, stopping and asking yourself what it is you need, you're just gonna keep doing that vicious dieting cycle. Because when you beat yourself up about that cookie, what happens? You're then most likely to restrict or feel bad about yourself and eat more, and so on and so forth. I mean, beating yourself up, obviously got you to where you are if this is something you're struggling with. So, when I hear my clients, saying they were bad, or, they blew it, or they suck or whatever, I stop them right away. And it takes a while to catch this mindset and to correct it, because all it is, they're not even mistakes, they're just learning lessons. When we stop, and instead of beating ourselves up and criticizing ourselves, and look at it and say, like, once I go through that with my clients, it's like, they're like, oh, well, I was just really, no wonder I was starving and I ate that bag of cookies or whatever. Like, I was, I hadn't eaten since 11 a.m. Like, it doesn't mean I have no willpower or I'm a bad person. Or they might say, yeah, I just got in a fight with my mom or something. And once they recognize that, and we talk about what they could do differently next time, just building that awareness will change things for them. Because if you don't overcome those same things that you've been eating over and beating yourself up over for the past how many years, it's not going to change. You've got to do some work around it. Adopting a new diet or fad, way of eating is not going to be the solution. Those obstacles, those emotions, and all that stuff is still going to be there. So eventually, my clients do listen, and when they start thinking about it differently, they start acting differently, and magic really does happen. So, because as women, especially, we have these impossible standards to live up to, and so often we beat ourselves up. I mean, I used to be horrible at it. My God. If you would have asked me to like say 3 things that I liked about myself like 16 years ago, I literally wouldn't have been able to tell you. It would have made my skin crawl. And now I can tell you, and it's not because I think I'm like, oh, this like, it's just like having self-worth. Like, we all have amazing qualities about us. So before I go on a tangent, you've got to stop with the all or nothing and the perfectionism and that little, evil person in you that is telling you just like you're, whatever. I don't know what people say. You just lack the motivation or willpower, and it's not true. It's usually other things, and we're all just doing our best. And like I said, instead of criticizing yourself, have some compassion for yourself, and you'll see such a difference. And then you'll be able to identify the triggers of what's happening when you do those behaviors. I would like you to, pick one meal like for this week and, try to improve it. Like, I had one client who used to have like eat caramel mochas for breakfast, and oh, thanks, Sigrid. I was like, she's like, well, I'm going to start making smoothies, blah, blah, blah. And while I love smoothies, I said to her and said, why don't we just start by, doing either a mocha or a caramel latte instead? And like, we just slowly decrease that. And guess what? She's not even drinking them every morning. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but when she was drinking them, she had the sugar crash. it wasn't serving her at all. So, sorry, my dog is trying to get on my lap. So that's what's great about Facebook Live videos. So instead of trying to do the whole overhaul, I just want you to think of one thing you could maybe try tweaking and that you'd like to change, and see how that works. And So, and also, if you haven't been to a gym all year and you're planning on joining a gym, that's great. I would love for people to get active. But instead of like, if you haven't worked out all year and you joined, like I had a friend who was didn't work out, and then she joined, what is it, Orange Theory, and I like Orange Theory. It's not like my number one choice. I just maybe if I had a friend to do it with, it'd be more fun. But I just felt like a robot for some reason because nobody was interacting with each other, and I just like interacting more. So. Oh, she did the Orange Theory, and then she hurt herself. And I was at the chiropractor today, and I asked them, like, oh, do you get a lot of injuries? She's like, yeah. She was saying, from the boot camp stuff, people don't work out, and then they push themselves. They go from not working out to pushing themselves in the gym, doing these intense workouts, and their body can't handle it. So don't kill yourself in the gym trying, to get healthy. That's awesome that you want to start working out and this and that, and I think joining a gym could be a great thing because of the motivation and inspiration you get from other people there. So sorry, that was was that step? I can't remember what step that was. Sorry, I had a phone call. Step 4 is making time for yourself every day. Now I get it, we all have really busy lives, like so busy, especially around the holidays. Oh my God. And sorry, I'm going to stop shaking the screen. So I'm not telling you to have like an hour of spa treatment a day. Okay. I'm not ridiculous, and I don't have that kind of money. But what I'm telling you is you have to spend and do something nice for yourself every day.